He opened his eyes slowly. At first he thought he was still dreaming. Everything around him was white. The walls, the ceiling, the floor, smooth, clean, and empty. There was no door, no window, no furniture, no sound. He sat up, confused. His body felt heavy, but his mind was racing. Where was he? How did he get here? He tried to remember the last thing before this moment. Nothing came. His memory was like a broken mirror, showing only small pieces, but never the full picture. The man rubbed his eyes, but the strange white room stayed the same. He stood up and walked to the wall. He touched it with his hand. Cold, hard, smooth. He knocked on it. No echo, no sound at all, like the walls were swallowing the noise. He moved around the room, pressing each corner, hoping to find a crack, a line, something that looked like an exit. But the room gave him nothing. It was like he was trapped inside a box built outside of reality. He whispered to himself, "This has to be a dream." But then he stopped. He could hear it. His own heartbeat, fast and loud. His breath was warm against the silent air. Dreams don't feel like this. Dreams don't trap you in silence. Minutes passed, or maybe hours. Time felt strange here. There was no sun, no clock, no way to measure it. Just him, standing in an empty, white space. And then, something changed. He felt it before he heard it. A soft sound, almost like breathing. Very light, very slow, but it was not his own. He froze, his heart pounding harder. He turned his head quickly. The room was still empty. "Hello?" he said, his voice small and shaky. No answer. Only silence again. He laughed nervously to himself, trying to calm down. Maybe he imagined it. Maybe his brain was playing tricks. But deep inside, he knew it was real. Someone, or something, was with him. He stood very still, listening. At first, there was nothing. And then again, yes, the sound of breathing, soft, fragile, but real. It was behind him. Slowly, he turned around. Still nothing. Just the endless white walls. His stomach twisted with fear. "Who's there?" he asked louder, forcing courage into his voice. The silence broke. A flicker of light appeared in the corner of the room. At first it looked like dust floating in the air, small sparkles like stars far away. He stared, unable to move. The sparkles grew brighter, coming together, shaping into something or someone. His chest tightened, his mouth went dry. A figure was forming. The sparkles stretched, twisted, and slowly turned into the shape of a girl. Her body was thin, weak, almost transparent. Her head tilted slightly, her long hair floating as if she were underwater. The man took a step back, pressing his back against the cold wall. He didn't blink. He couldn't. His body refused to move. The girl opened her eyes. They were not normal eyes. They glowed faintly, like two small moons, shining but soft. Her gaze locked on him, and in that moment, he felt something impossible. She was not just looking at him. She was looking inside him, searching, reading, knowing. His voice shook as he spoke. What are you?" No reply. The girl stood there, silent, her face calm but unreadable. She looked fragile, but something about her felt powerful, dangerous even. He tried again. "Where are we? Do you understand me?" Her lips did not move. Her expression stayed the same. The man's fear mixed with curiosity. He wanted to run, but where could he go? There was no door, no escape. His only choice was to face her. He took a small step forward. She did not move. He raised his hand slowly, carefully, as if reaching out to touch a wild animal. For a long moment, nothing happened. And then, she raised her hand too. Small, thin fingers, glowing faintly with the same strange light as her eyes. The space between Them felt electric. The air grew heavy, buzzing like hidden energy. His hand shook, but he kept moving closer. Finally, his fingertips brushed against hers. The moment their skin touched, the world exploded. A blinding flash of light filled the room, brighter than the sun, swallowing the walls, the floor, everything. His mind screamed, his body froze. He felt himself falling, but there was no ground, no air, no room anymore. Only the light. And in that light, he saw something. Shadows of stars, shapes of planets, echoes of voices not human. The last thing he heard was the girl's breathing. Closer now, right in his ear, and then darkness. The darkness lifted slowly. He opened his eyes again, gasping for air. His body trembled as if he had just fallen from a great height. The white room was still there, but something was different. The silence was broken. A soft hum now filled the air, low and steady, like a distant engine, and she was standing in front of him. The strange girl was no longer a flicker of light. She was real, solid, alive. Her skin was pale, almost glowing faintly, like moonlight trapped in a human shape. Her hair floated around her shoulders as though it moved on its own. Her eyes, those glowing orbs, watched him closely. He stumbled back until his shoulders hit the cold wall again. His voice cracked when he spoke. "Who are you?" She tilted her head, studying him like he was the strange one here. Her lips parted slightly, but no words came. For a long time, she just stared at him. It was unsettling, like she was peeling away the layers of his soul with only her gaze. He forced himself to breathe slowly, to calm down. He raised his hands in front of him, showing he meant no harm. I'm not here to hurt you," he said softly. "Do you understand me?" Still, no answer. Her thin frame swayed a little as if she was weak. She took a step forward, and he noticed her feet didn't make a sound against the floor. Each move felt unreal, almost like watching a ghost. He wanted to run. But again, where could he go? There was no escape from this room. Her glowing eyes softened for a moment, and then she lifted her hand slowly, pointing at him. His chest tightened. "What do you want?" She didn't answer with words. Instead, she pressed her hand against her own chest right above her heart. Then she extended it toward him. The meaning was clear. She wanted him to take her hand again. He hesitated. The memory of the blinding flash was still burning in his mind. But something about her, something fragile in the way she moved, made him feel less afraid. She didn't look like a monster. She looked lost. With a deep breath, he stepped forward. His fingers trembled as he reached out. The moment their hands touched again, his mind exploded with visions. Stars raced across his eyes. Great ships made of metal and fire soared through endless space. He saw worlds burning, skies full of ash, and towers falling. He heard screams, not human, but alive with pain. And then he saw her. The girl standing in front of him now, but in another place, on a world made of silver stone and glowing rivers. Her people looked like her, with shining eyes and voices like music. He saw them laughing, living, building. Then he saw them running, hiding, fighting against shadows too large to see. The vision ended with fire raining from the skies. Her people, gone. He staggered back, gasping. His hands shook. "That was you. Your world," he whispered. The girl's eyes shimmered, and for the first time a tear slid down her pale cheek. He understood. She wasn't a dream. She wasn't a ghost. She was real. An alien girl, the last of her kind. His voice softened. You're alone." She nodded slowly. And then finally, she spoke. Her voice was faint, almost like wind slipping through cracks. "Yes." The sound of her word chilled him to the bone. It wasn't just the voice. It was the sadness inside it. A sadness too deep for him to imagine. He swallowed hard. "Where are we?" Her gaze shifted to the walls of the white room. "Between," she whispered. "Between what?" he asked, confused. She shook her head. "Not safe. Here." As soon as she said it, the hum in the air grew louder. The floor trembled slightly. Something was pressing against the room, testing it, pushing at its edges. The man's heartbeat quickened. "What's happening?" She turned back to him, and her glowing eyes seemed brighter now. "They are searching." "Who?" Her lips trembled before she whispered the word. "Hunters." The tremor in the floor grew stronger. The walls rippled, like liquid, bending for a second before snapping back. He could feel the danger now, pressing closer, trying to break through. He stared at her in panic. "Why me? Why am I here with you?" The alien girl stepped closer, her voice urgent but still soft. "Because you are human." He blinked, lost. "So what?" Her glowing eyes locked onto his. "Human. Fight. Human. Survive." Her words hit him like a punch. He didn't understand all of it, but the message was clear. She believed. He had something her people didn't, something her destroyed world had lost. The humming turned into a low roar. A crack appeared in the far wall, dark and jagged. The sound that came through it was not human, it was a growl, mechanical and alive at the same time. His skin crawled. The girl grabbed his hand suddenly. Her grip was cold but strong. She leaned close and whispered one final warning. "They have found us." And then the wall began to break. The crack in the wall widened. A jagged black line spread across the smooth white surface like broken glass. A chilling roar echoed through it. Neither machine nor beast, but something in between. The man's chest tightened. His instincts screamed at him to run, but there was nowhere to go. The room had no doors, no exits. Only the girl and the darkness creeping in. The alien girl's grip on his hand tightened. Her glowing eyes locked on his. And in that instant, the world around them froze. The trembling floor, the roar, the cracking wall, all of it vanished. Suddenly, he was no longer in the white room. He stood in the middle of a sky filled with stars. Galaxies spun like rivers of light. Nebulas glowed in colors he could not name. Planets hung like jewels in the endless dark. He staggered, unable to believe what he saw, and beside him the girl floated, her pale form brighter than before. "What is this?" he whispered. Her voice came directly into his mind, soft but clear. "My memory. My truth." Before he could reply, images flooded his mind. He saw her world again, but now with more detail. Towers of silver crystal stretched high into the skies. Bridges of light connected cities across vast oceans. Her people walked with grace, their glowing eyes reflecting the stars. They sang songs that shaped rivers, built machines that touched galaxies. It was beautiful, perfect. Then the vision darkened. Shadows swept across the sky. Vast ships appeared, not like anything he had ever seen. They were alive, breathing, pulsing, made of flesh and metal twisted together. Their shapes shifted like nightmares, their engines screamed like beasts. He saw her people panic. He saw fire fall from the sky, towers shattering, oceans boiling. He saw her kind fighting back with weapons of light, but the enemy was endless. Each one they destroyed was replaced by more. The girl's voice trembled inside his mind. "We called them the Hunters." He clenched his fists as the vision showed screaming faces, families torn apart, cities swallowed in flame. He wanted to look away, but he couldn't. The girl forced him to see it all. And then, her world was gone. Only silence, only ashes drifting in endless space. She turned to him in the vision, her glowing eyes filled with sorrow. "I am the last." His breath caught. He wanted to say something, anything, but the words stuck in his throat. Before he could speak, the vision shifted again. Now he saw Earth, his home. He recognized the cities, the mountains, the oceans. He saw people laughing, living their lives, unaware of the danger. For a moment, hope filled him. But then, the shadows came again, the same ships, The same screams. He saw fire falling on Earth. He saw buildings collapse, soldiers fighting, families running. He saw himself standing in the middle of chaos, flames surrounding him. His own face twisted in fear and rage. "No!" he shouted, breaking from the vision. The stars vanished. The white room returned. The crack in the wall was wider now, dark, energy seeping through like smoke. The roar was louder, closer. He stumbled back, gasping. "That's not real. That's not going to happen." The girl's eyes locked on him. Her voice was sharp in his mind. "It will, unless you fight." Shook his head. "Why me? I'm no soldier. I'm just a man. I don't even know how I got here." Her face softened, but her words were steady. "Because you are human. Humans resist. Humans survive. That is why I showed you." He tried to argue, but before he could, another surge of energy rattled the room. The crack split wider, and from it a long black claw pushed through. Metal and flesh twisted together, dripping with dark liquid. The sound it made was sickening. His body froze with terror. The girl pulled him close, her cold hand on his chest. Her eyes glowed brighter, and suddenly he felt something strange, a pulse of energy spreading through him, warm and electric. His fear didn't vanish, but something else grew stronger inside him. "What are you doing?" he gasped. Her voice whispered in his mind, calm and steady even as the wall tore apart. "Sharing." The claw scraped against the floor, pulling more of its twisted body inside. Another roar shook the room. The man's heart thundered, but his veins felt alive with fire. His hands trembled, not from fear but from something new. When he looked down, faint light shimmered under his skin, the same glow as the girl's eyes. He stared at her in shock. "What did you give me?" Her gaze didn't waver. "A chance." The wall exploded, and the creature burst through, massive, twisted, its body half machine, half beast, eyes burning with hunger. The white room shook as the thing roared, charging toward them. The man stumbled back, but the girl held his hand tightly, her voice clear and sharp in his mind. "Do not run. Fight." And before he could answer, the creature leapt. The creature crashed into the room. Its body was huge, filling half the space. Metal and flesh twisted together in an ugly shape. Sharp claws dragged across the white floor, leaving black scars behind. Its head was covered with jagged plates, and its mouth opened wide, showing rows of broken metal teeth dripping with dark liquid. Its roar shook the walls, shaking the man's bones. The man's first instinct was to run, but there was nowhere to go. His heart thundered in his chest. His legs refused to move. The alien girl held his hand tightly. Her glowing eyes were locked on the beast. Her voice whispered in his mind, calm but urgent. "Do not fear. Stand." The man shook his head, his voice breaking. "I can't fight that thing, look at it." But then he felt it again, that strange energy she had given him. His veins burned with fire. His hands glowed faintly. The girl squeezed his hand harder, and the glow grew brighter. The creature roared again and charged. Its claws scraped sparks against the floor. The man closed his eyes, expecting death. But when the beast struck, something strange happened. The girl raised her free hand, and a shield of blue light flashed between them and the monster. The creature slammed into it, shaking the room, but the shield held. Sparks exploded in the air, filling the room with light. The man's eyes widened. What was that? Her voice trembled slightly in his mind. "Energy. My power. Now. Yours too." He looked at his hands again. The light under his skin was brighter now, pulsing like a heartbeat. He felt stronger, but also scared of what this meant. The creature pulled back, its twisted body bending unnaturally, then roared again. It slammed against the shield once more. Cracks of light spread across the barrier. The girl gasped, her knees shaking. She couldn't hold it for long. The man panicked. "It's breaking through. What do I do?" Her glowing eyes turned to him, filled with both fear and hope. "Fight it, you must." He shook his head wildly. "I don't even know how." Her voice cut through the fear. "Do not think, feel." The shield cracked again. The monster forced its claws through, black smoke spilling into the room. The girl cried out, stumbling as the shield shattered completely. The creature lunged forward. The man's instincts took over. He raised his glowing hand without thinking. A blast of light shot from his palm, striking the beast's chest. The monster screamed, staggering back. Smoke rose from the wound, black and burning. He froze, staring at his hand in disbelief. I did that? The girl nodded weakly, her voice faint. Yes, human fire. Use it. The creature roared in fury, its red eyes burning brighter. It rushed again, faster this time. The man's body moved on its own. He dodged to the side, rolling across the floor, his glowing hands lighting the room. He fired another blast, hitting the creature's arm. It howled in pain, crashing into the far wall. For the first time he felt it. The fight, the strength. He wasn't just prey anymore. But the creature wasn't finished. It rose again, its body twisting, repairing itself with sickening cracks of bone and metal. The girl staggered forward, weak but determined. They do not stop. They never stop. The man's chest tightened. Then how do we beat them? She met his eyes, her voice heavy with sorrow. We do not. We survive. That is the only way. Her words struck him harder than the monster's. Roar. He wanted to believe they could win, but the way she said it, she knew better. She had seen it before. The creature charged once more, faster, angrier. The man braced himself, hands glowing brighter than ever. He roared back, his own cry, mixing with fear and rage. He blasted the creature with everything inside him. The light struck its chest, burning deeper this time, throwing it back into the wall. The monster twitched, roaring one last time, then collapsed into black smoke. Its body dissolved, leaving nothing but silence. The man collapsed to his knees, breathing hard, his chest on fire. He looked at the girl, his voice shaking. What was that thing? Her glowing eyes dimmed slightly. She whispered one word. Hunter. His skin crawled. That was one of them? She nodded slowly. A small one. A scout. His stomach dropped. If that was just a scout, what would the others be like? The girl's voice trembled. They will come. Many. Stronger. I ran from them. But they follow. Always. The man's mind spun. He wanted answers, but fear was louder. Then why bring me here? Why show me this? She stepped closer, her fragile frame shaking, but her voice sharp. Because humans are different. My people built towers, sang to stars. But when death came, we broke. We fled, we fell. But you burn. You fight. You survive. Her glowing eyes pierced into him. You are the last chance. Not just for your world. For all worlds. He stared at her, lost for words. And then the walls of the room trembled again. New cracks spread across the surface, darker and wider. This time, not one, but many claws pushed through, scraping, tearing. Shadows crawled into the room, dozens of glowing red eyes peering through the cracks. The girl's voice whispered in his mind, heavy with dread. They have found us again. The man stood frozen, light glowing in his hands, heart racing. He realized the truth. This wasn't just survival. This was war, and he was standing at the very beginning. The cracks spread like lightning across the walls. One by one, long black claws pushed through. The sound was unbearable, metal grinding against stone, flesh tearing against something unseen. The air filled with a foul stench, sharp and heavy like smoke and blood mixed together. The man stumbled back, his hands glowing faintly. His chest rose and fell quickly, fear clawing at his mind. He had barely survived the first creature, and now there were many. The alien girl stood beside him, her pale frame trembling but her eyes shining brighter. She whispered into his mind, steady but grim. Hunters do not stop. Where one goes, more follow. The man's throat was dry. How many? Her answer was cold. Enough to end a world. Before he could respond, the first wall shattered. A hunter forced itself inside. Its body was taller than the last, its limbs longer, sharper. Behind it, another claw tore open, the wall, then another. Soon the room echoed with growls, each one different but all full of hunger. The man's heart thundered. He raised his glowing hands, trying to stay calm. He whispered to himself, "Don't think, just feel." The girl's voice touched his mind again. Remember their weakness. Light against shadow, fire against darkness. The first hunter lunged. Its claws slashed toward him, but the man leapt to the side, surprising even himself. His body moved, faster than before, like the energy inside him was guiding his steps. He thrust out his hand and a burst of light shot forward, striking the creature's chest. The monster howled, stumbling, but did not fall. Its body twisted, repairing itself, dark liquid dripping onto the floor. Two more hunters forced their way in, their glowing red eyes locking onto him. The man's stomach dropped. "There's too many." The girl gripped his arm, her voice strong. "Then you must burn brighter." He shook his head. "I don't know how." Her glowing eyes pierced into his. "Humans always find a way." The second hunter leapt. Its claws swung down, ready to tear him apart. He raised both hands in panic, and suddenly, the light inside him exploded outward in a wave. A blinding flash filled the room. The hunters screamed, their bodies burning where the light touched them. Smoke rose, their twisted flesh hissing and cracking. One fell, dissolving into black ash. The others staggered back, screeching in pain. The man gasped, looking at his glowing hands. The energy was stronger now, brighter, hotter. His fear was still there, but something else grew stronger. Rage. Not just fear of death, but anger at these monsters, anger at the visions of Earth burning. He clenched his fists. "I won't let you take my world." The girl's eyes softened, almost proud. But the hunters didn't stop. More claws tore through the walls. The room shook violently as cracks spread in every direction. Soon, there would be dozens inside, maybe more. The man fired another blast, striking one hunter in the head, burning it to ash. Another rushed him from the side. He ducked, rolling, and slammed his glowing fist into its chest. The impact sent a shockwave through the room. The creature screamed before collapsing into smoke, but his body was weakening. His breath grew heavier, his arms shaking. The energy burned, but it drained him too. He knew he couldn't keep this up forever. The girl stepped forward, raising her own hand. A sphere of blue light formed in her palm. She hurled it toward a hunter, the blast throwing it back into the wall. For a moment, the two of them fought side by side, human and alien, light against shadow. The hunters roared in fury, but for everyone they struck down, two more forced their way inside. The walls were breaking, the room collapsing under the weight of their attack. The man shouted over the noise. "We can't hold them forever!" The girl's voice entered his mind again, softer this time, heavy with sorrow. "We were never meant to hold them, only to survive them." Her words chilled him. He blasted another hunter, panting hard. "Survive? That's all?" She nodded. "The hunters cannot be destroyed. Not fully. Not yet." The man's chest tightened. If they couldn't be destroyed, then what was the point of fighting? But before he could speak, the girl grabbed his hand again. Her eyes glowed so bright they filled the room with light. Her voice rang in his head, sharp and urgent. "Listen to me. They will follow until the end of time. They will hunt you, your people, your world. You cannot hide. You cannot beg. You cannot escape. The only way forward is to fight. Do you understand?" And a heart pounded. He looked at the swarm of hunters breaking through the walls, their red eyes burning like fire. His fear was still there, but he felt something stronger now. Resolve. He nodded slowly. "Then I'll fight. I'll fight until I can't anymore." The girl's voice softened. "That is why you were chosen." Before he could ask what she meant, the walls of the room collapsed completely. The white space shattered like glass, and behind it lay nothing but endless stars. Dozens of hunters crawled through the cracks, their twisted bodies swarming like insects. The man and the girl stood together on a platform floating in the void, surrounded on all sides by monsters. The girl whispered one last warning into his mind. This is only the beginning. The hunters roared as they closed in. The white room was gone. Now he and the alien girl stood on a broken platform floating in endless space. Stars stretched forever in every direction. Beneath their feet was nothing but a black void. Around them, the hunters crawled. Dozens of twisted bodies, climbing out of cracks in the air. Their red eyes glowed like burning coals locking on their prey. The man's chest tightened. His hands glowed faintly, but his body was shaking. He could barely breathe. He whispered, almost to himself, "There's too many. I can't fight them all." The girl stood beside him, pale and weak, her glowing eyes steady. Her voice touched his mind softly. "You must. They will never stop." He clenched his fists, anger mixing with fear. "Why me? Why do you keep saying I'm the one? I'm not strong enough. I'm not special." She turned to him, her gaze sharp. "You are human, and that is enough." The words hit him hard. He wanted to believe them, but doubt still clawed at his heart. The hunters roared, their twisted bodies crawling closer, claws scraping against the broken stone. One leapt forward, its jagged teeth wide open. Without thinking, the man raised his hand. Light burst from his palm, striking the beast mid-air. The creature screamed before vanishing into ash. The other hunters hissed, circling, waiting to strike. The man's arms trembled, but something inside him shifted. He remembered the vision the girl had shown him, earth burning, his people screaming. He remembered the fire surrounding him. And he remembered the anger. He would not let it happen, not while he could still fight. He straightened his back, raising his glowing fists. His voice was louder now, full of rage. "You want to fight? Then come and take it." The hunters shrieked and attacked all at once. The man moved like never before. His body, once heavy with fear, now felt light, filled with fire. He dodged one, claw, slammed his glowing fist into another. A wave of light exploded, throwing two hunters back into the void. He spun, firing blasts from both hands, cutting through the swarm. The alien girl watched, her eyes wide. She could feel his energy growing stronger, brighter, hotter. Each strike shook the air, each blast burned deeper into the monsters. He was not only fighting, he was defying. But the hunters kept coming. Their numbers were endless. For every one that fell, two more crawled out of the cracks. The man's breath grew heavier, sweat dripping down his face. His arms ached, his chest burned, but he refused to stop. One hunter struck from behind. He turned too late. But the girl raised her hand, firing a blue sphere of light that blasted it away. She staggered, weak, but she smiled faintly. Together they stood side by side. The girl whispered in his mind, almost like a prayer. "This is why you are different. You fight, even when hope is gone." He gritted his teeth, blasting another hunter in the chest. "Damn right I do." But then, the void trembled. The stars flickered. Something massive was coming. The smaller. Hunters froze for a moment, as if sensing the presence of something greater. Then slowly the darkness behind them shifted. A shape moved. The man's eyes widened as a colossal hunter appeared, crawling out of the void. It was larger than any building he had ever seen, its body a nightmare of metal and flesh fused together. Its eyes were like burning suns, staring directly at him. The alien girl's voice trembled for the first time. "The Alpha." The man's stomach dropped. "That thing's bigger than a city." The giant hunter roared, and the sound shook the stars themselves. Smaller hunters scattered, making way for their master. The Alpha's claws were the size of towers, its breath a storm of black smoke. The girl clutched his arm. "We cannot win, not against that." The man looked at her, then back at the monster. His whole body shook, but his eyes burned with fire. "Maybe not, but I won't run." She stared at him, shocked. "You cannot defeat it." His voice was steady, louder than before. "Then I'll die trying." The Alpha moved closer, its massive claw reaching out toward them. The void trembled with each movement. The girl's voice was urgent now. "You do not understand. If you fall, Earth falls. Humanity ends. You are the spark. You must live. He clenched his fists, his hands glowing brighter than ever. No, humanity doesn't live by hiding. We fight. That's what we do. The hunters roared around him. The Alpha raised its massive claw, ready to crush them both. The man stepped forward, standing between the alien girl and the monster. His entire body burned with light now, so bright it cut through the void. His voice was fierce, filled with defiance. You want to end us? Then come through me first. The Alpha roared, its claw descending, filling the sky, and the man leapt toward it, light exploding from his body like a second star. The man leapt into the void like a burning star. Light exploded from his body, brighter than anything the alien girl had ever seen. His figure cut through the darkness, rushing straight toward the Alpha hunter. For a moment, the swarm of smaller hunters froze, their red eyes flickering in fear. The Alpha roared, its massive claw swinging down. The force of the strike rippled through space, breaking chunks of the floating platform beneath the girl's feet. She stumbled, gasping, but her glowing eyes never left him. The man thrust both hands forward. Blinding light burst out, colliding with the Alpha's claw. Your impact was deafening, shaking the void itself. For a moment, it looked as though the claw would crush him, but his light held. Sparks of white and black energy clashed, screaming against each other. The man roared with effort, his voice echoing through the endless stars. You don't get to take us. Not my world. Not humanity. The Alpha howled, its strength overwhelming, pushing him back inch by inch. His arms shook, his body burning with pain. His light began to flicker, cracks spreading across his glowing skin. The girl cried out, her voice piercing his mind. Stop. You will burn yourself away. He gritted, his teeth refusing to let go. Better me than Earth. The Alpha pressed harder, its claw descending, its endless power threatening to crush the spark of human light. And then, something unexpected happened. The girl closed her eyes. Her hands glowed faint blue. She pressed them to her chest, then raised them toward him. A surge of energy shot out, connecting to his body. Her power merged with his. He gasped as strength poured into him, doubling, tripling. His light flared brighter, blinding the swarm of hunters. Her voice echoed in his mind, strong now, full of faith. You are not alone. I stand with you. Together, their powers fused into a single blaze. The man roared again, pushing against the Alpha's claw with everything inside him. The light erupted, tearing through the hunter's flesh-metal body. The Alpha screamed, its monstrous form splitting, cracks of white fire racing across its skin. Finally, with one last burst, the Alpha exploded into the void, its body dissolving into ash and black smoke. The smaller hunters shrieked in terror. Some fled into the cracks of the void. Others disintegrated in the storm of light that followed. Silence fell. The man collapsed to his knees, his chest heaving. His glow dimmed, leaving only faint sparks on his skin. He was alive, but barely. The alien girl knelt beside him, her hand on his shoulder, her glowing eyes softened. You chose to fight, even against the impossible. That is why you are human. He looked up at her, his face pale, his voice rough. Did we win? She hesitated. Her gaze turned to the stars. No. This was only one battle. The hunters are endless. They will come again, stronger, always stronger. His heart sank. The Alpha was only the beginning. Her hand tightened on his shoulder. But today you showed me something. Hope. He frowned, confused. Hope? She nodded slowly. My people had knowledge, power, beauty. But when death came, we broke. You stood. Even when you could not win, you still stood. That is why you are different. That is why you must lead. The man's stomach twisted. Lead? Lead what? Her eyes glowed brighter. Humanity. The war is coming. You must be the spark that lights the fire. You must prepare your people for what waits among the stars. He stared at her, overwhelmed. I'm just one man. Her voice was calm, but unshakable. One man is all it takes. One choice, one voice, one flame. Humanity will rise or it will burn. The choice begins with you. The silence of space pressed around them. The man looked at his hands, faintly glowing still. He remembered the vision, earth burning, people screaming, the shadow of the hunters devouring the sky. He could walk away, pretend none of this happened. Hide. Forget. But deep inside he knew he couldn't. The girl was right. The hunters would come and Earth was not ready. Slowly, painfully, he stood. His legs shook but his eyes hardened. He clenched his fists, his voice steady now. Then I choose to fight. I'll warn them. I'll prepare them. And when the hunters come, we'll be ready. The girl's lips curved into the faintest smile. Her glowing eyes shimmered with relief. Then humanity will not stand alone. Together, we will make them fear the light. As she spoke, the stars around them shifted. The broken void began to fade. The man felt himself pulled back, gravity wrapping around him once more. His vision blurred. The alien girl's voice echoed softly in his mind, the last words he heard before everything went dark. This is only the beginning. He gasped awake. He was lying on the floor of his own room, his bed, his desk, his walls, all normal again. For a moment, he thought, it had been a dream, but then he looked at his hands. They were still glowing faintly like embers refusing to die. The man sat up, his heart pounding. He looked out the window at the night sky, the stars scattered above. Somewhere out there, the hunters were waiting. He clenched his fists, then let them come.